Well, hey everybody, Grooves Blues Reviews here, and the Blues now are moving on to the second round to play the Dallas Stars. Who would have thought, two teams who both were having problems at the beginning of the year, and the Dallas Stars were still above the Blues, and the Blues were really having the worst of the two as far as the first half of the season went, but both turn it around and both are going to the second round. What a great matchup this is going to be. Last time these teams two met was in 2016. The Blues took it in seven, but definitely two different teams at that time, different goaltenders, different coaches, just a whole different feel in 2016 with those two teams. Both these teams have met up with each other four times since Dallas became the Dallas Stars, before the Minnesota North Stars, and they've split. The Blues lost the first two. They were swept, and then they lost in six. And then they took the last two to go to the Western and the Western Conference Finals twice. They swept them, and then in 2016 was the last time, and they won in seven games. So that is the history there between the two teams as far as playoffs go, since they became the Dallas Stars. But looking at the regular season, well, the numbers weren't that great. The Blues were 1-3 against the Stars. Jamie Benn had 5 goals against us in that series of regular season games, 2 goals by Tyler Seguin, and then, of course, the rest was broken up. One thing to keep in mind here was that there was a good trade Dallas made during the season where they got Zuccarello, and he broke his arm, I believe, or had some horrible injury in the first game he played, and I believe he had scored 1 or 2 goals in that game, too. So he's had a good first round, and he's going to be a factor that the Blues are going to have to take into consideration. The Stars outscored us in that full regular season series, 13-7. But looking at the two starting goaltenders, Bishop and Binnington, they both didn't play every game. In one of the losses, Jake Allen played, and in one of the wins for Dallas, Hudobin, their backup goaltender, played. So out of the 4 games, each of them played 3. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. So with regards to shots, Binnington faced 68 shots total, and he allowed 10 goals, giving him around an 85% save percentage, a little bit around that area. And then Bishop had, 85 shots, and he allowed 5 goals on 85 shots, where Binnington allowed 10 goals on 68 shots. And that put his save percentage at around 94%. So definitely quite the difference there. And one of the things to look at too is that Hudobin played in a game where the Blues lost 5-2, and the Blues outshot them 45-25. And Bennington played in that game, and the Blues lost 5-2. I remember that game. Bennington did not let up. He didn't play bad in that game. It was just that the Blues not playing well in front of him. But one thing too to take in this whole thing is that the Blues play the Dallas Stars after they had made their turnaround too. They didn't just play them all at the beginning of the season like they did the Winnipeg Jets in the regular season. As far as the power play goes, the Blues were 2 for 12 on the power play, 7 for 9 on the PK. The Dallas Stars were 2 for 9 on the power play. They were 10 for 12 on the PK. And also Tarasenko, he scored 3 goals for the Blues during those 4 games. So looking at the numbers, basically you had quite better goaltending for the Dallas Stars compared to us with the combination of Binnington and Allen. They had a little bit of a better power play, a little bit of a better penalty kill. Of course, Jamie Benn just, 5 goals against us. And Tarasenko had 3 against them, but Jamie Benn was just a beast against us in the regular season. Just kind of refreshing ourselves on the Blues. Their power play was at 25% during the Winnipeg series, and their PK was at 80%. They had 9 players that scored goals, Schwartz having the most at 4, but the most points for Petro. They were all assists. The goaltending again was very even. Jordan Binnington had a 990 save percentage in that series, and he made some key saves. He played very, very well. So as I said in the wrap up of the first series, it really came down to those 2 games, and the Blues just playing some great periods there to shut down the Winnipeg Jets. The Dallas-Nashville series, there were 10 different players that scored. Radulov led the way with 4 goals. Zuccarello had 3. Ben only had 1 goal, but he had quite a few assists, and he played well in that series. Looking back at some of the replay, I mean, he was a beast in that series and making plays and making things happen. And Seguin had 2 goals in that series. So Radulov, Ben, Sagan, and Zuccarello, these are the high flying guys on their offense. You can't forget about Spezza. He's lurking in there, and then also their defenseman Klingberg as well too. So these are guys that the Blues really have to watch and pay attention to. Bishop had a 94% save percentage in that series. He had a 218 shots against him, and he had 206 saves. The Stars totally were outshot 218 to 200. Their penalty kill was 100%. 100% in that series. They completely shut down all 19 of Nashville's power plays, and they were 4 for 26 on their power play for the Dallas Stars. So they didn't have as good of a power play as we had in the first round. So looking at that, if you look at the numbers, and also too, Dallas outscored Nashville 18-12 in the series. So if you look at this from the numbers perspective, people are going to say, Dallas has the upper hand here. They've got a lot of offensive firepower. They've put things together, but also too, they have the better goaltender. The Ben Bishop, he's made it to the Stanley Cup Finals with the Tampa Bay Lightning in his past. He unfortunately had an injury, so he didn't get to fill in all the time. That was when Vasilevsky started to show his promise, showing up in a few games. And then also, Bishop then, didn't have as much success after that. But he's been around the league. He's been battle tested, and he's ready to go. And he's had another Vezina caliber season. I mean, he's nominated for the Vezina again. So looking at this series and just kind of breaking down things, definitely Dallas has the edge in goaltending right now. When you look at the numbers, when you break things down and just look at how Bishop's played in the first round, he's played better than Binnington. He had a better overall. I mean, he played more games than Binnington, I believe, and he had a Vezina caliber season. Binnington didn't play as many games, but played just as well as Net. I mean, he has the statistics to show it, but I would give the edge to the Dallas Stars as far as the goaltending goes. I feel that with the offense, while definitely Dallas has the offensive power, they're not rolling four lines. The Blues are rolling four lines. And what's also great, too, is we've discovered late in the series that paid off for the Blues is that Perron was moved up to the first line to take Schen's place, and Schenn was moved down to the second line to join Schwartz, and he played center, and he really enjoyed getting back to center, and that's what got him a goal, and that's what got Schwartz 4 goals in the series. I mean, it was just amazing, that little adjustment. So they have an option there of switching those guys around, and Berube, that's going to be up to him how he's going to work with those matchups and how he's going to shuffle lines there. But knowing that things work now, switching those two guys, that really helps out. So with the Blues rolling 4 lines, I give them advantage as far as offense goes, and also I give them an advantage, though, more so in depth. I think really it's depth. I think maybe offense you could see them being kind of even out with Dallas because of the scoring punch that Dallas has right now. But definitely with regards to depth, the Blues have more depth. When you look at the defense, I feel that the Blues have the better defense. They're bigger, but they're going to be tested very, very hard by Jamie Benn. They have to shut Jamie Benn down, Tyler Seguin down, and also Radulov. Now, I think Radulov had a really good series, partially because he was playing against his old team, and he really wanted to beat him badly. So I think that was part of it, but still, he's a good player. So those 3 players are key, but also you can't forget about Zuccarello. He didn't play in any of these games. He was injured in his first game with Dallas, so he's kind of that dark horse that's come in here, and he's proven that it was still a good trade because he played well and he had 3 goals in that first series against Nashville. And the Blues, of course, just their defense has to keep an eye on that, and it's a little worrisome because of how many times they left Patrick Laine open. And also in the regular season against Dallas, how many times they let Ben score on us. There were a few times he was left wide open. Also a few times where he was standing in front of the net and he was able to get a deflection on a shot. So the Blues really need to shut down Ben, but not just Ben, Seguin and Radulov. And that's the thing is that I don't know much about whether or not Dallas has been able to alter them on different lines and if it's worked as well as it has with changing Perron and Schenn. So depth-wise, I give the advantage to the Blues. I'm just going to say that Dallas and the Blues, as far as offense go, they're pretty even there. Goaltending edge goes to Dallas, and then as far as the defensive edge, I want to give that to, of course, the defense to the St. Louis Blues as well. As far as coaching goes, Jim Montgomery, this is his first year. He's an ex-Blue. He played some games with the Blues. Craig Berube, not his first go-around as a coach. He's been a head coach before. He's coaching the playoffs. So the edge, I believe, needs to go to Berube in this series. versus last series where you had Paul Maurice, who's been a coach in the NHL longer. So it's definitely there's a lot of things there to look at with the Blues as far as looking just at the series and matching up. So kind of looking overall at everything here, and looking to at how Bennington played in the first round. I'm really going to say that I'm going to pick the Blues in 7 games in this series. I think it's going to go the full 7. I just think that there's going to be some challenges there with the Blues keeping an eye on shutting down those 3 power forwards and then also Zuccarello. But I think the Blues in the end can do it. And I think Bennington, again, he just hasn't shown anything where he's going to have a problem. Yeah, he didn't have the greatest numbers against Dallas, but this is the playoffs. This is different, and this is a great team this year in the St. Louis Blues. Dallas is great too. It's going to be one heck of a series, but I definitely think that it's going to go 7 games, and I think the Blues will prevail in those 7 games. So that's just kind of the way to break it down. I know that a lot of people are paying attention to numbers. They would choose Dallas over the Blues, and I could see their point there when you look at the numbers and breaking all that down, as I just did. But with the playoffs being different and how the Blues performed in the first round and then being a great team as the Winnipeg Jets are, yes, Nashville's great too and have a great goaltender, and the Stars beat them. But I just think with the Blues' depth, and I think with their strong defense and a goaltender who, in my opinion, is rock solid. He's just as good as Bishop is. He can be that good, and he's calm and he's cool and he's collect and he's on a mission here. You can just tell. I really think the Blues can take the Dallas Stars, and it's going to go 7 games. So that's what I have to say about this series, and we'll see how it goes. It starts tomorrow night. Late start, Blues fans. Is an 8:30 start. Really, the puck will probably drop by 8:45. But anyway, we will see what happens, and go Blues.